Hey y'all, what is good? Welcome back. If you're returning, if you're new, my name is Morgan. I make videos about my life, my experiences, stuff that I'm interested in, all that good stuff. So please like and subscribe if you're new, and welcome. So today's video, I want to talk about how I graduated college in 3 years with a double major and a minor. So I'll be sharing what I did, the steps that I took, what my journey through college looked like, my habits as a student, resources I utilized, etc. that helped me graduate literally a whole year early, save a bunch of money, save a bunch of time, and put me ahead in life with like where I want to be. To begin, I have a double major in psychology and then social welfare and justice, and then my minor is in criminology and law studies. So the first thing you need to do when you're discovering what you want to do with your life in college is figure out how many credits you need to graduate and figure out what classes are required for you to graduate. So this is where my academic advisor was like the GOAT. Like, he was super cool. He was very, very helpful, very responsive. And so we were required to have meetings with our advisors. And so I would sit down with him and be like, all right, this is what I want to do. This is what the majors and minors that I want. How do I get there? And it's basically their job to sit down with you and be like, all right, here's what you need. Here's what you have. Take these classes at this time, and then you're set at this time interval to graduate. So my dude was goated. Like, John is my homie. But some people don't have that. So if you don't have a good academic advisor, or your school doesn't require you to meet with them, I would advise scheduling an appointment. But if you have a shitty advisor, like, you're gonna have to just do this yourself, which is kind of shitty, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And to find out all this information, you have to just go to your school's website. So I went to a school and it was under the category of like bulletin, and then you can click on whatever degree you have, and then it should list off all the required courses, the required credits to graduate, all that stuff. It should all be on one page. So you just find your bulletin, click on whatever college you're in. So I was in arts and sciences because I was a psychology major, and then you click on whatever degree you're in and you can see all the options. And then literally it just lists like what's required for your major, all of the courses you have to take, all of the credits. Same with the minor. It just lists everything for you, so write it all down. And then obviously whatever major you're in, just click that and do the same thing. And then you're going to want to write all that shit down. Like, write everything that you need to take down, and then figure out how many credits you want to take a semester. So this is where I kind of like went hard, because I never took less than 16 credits. I was always taking more credits than necessary just to get ahead, and because personally I had the mental health capacity to do that. I had the ambition and the drive to successfully do that. So depending on where you're at, that might not be the best choice for you if you have a lot going on in other aspects of your life. I wouldn't overload in school, but if you have the ability to, I highly recommend it, because you're going to thank yourself later. So keep in mind that when you're looking at the required courses, there's also other elements in your degree that you have to take that aren't related to what you're actually studying. So at my school, it was a Jesuit Catholic school, so we had to take theology, and we had to take philosophy, and we had to take other types of courses. So you have to look at this and somehow schedule it in. So it's not ideal, because it's not wasting your time, but it's not building you towards your major, but it's still required for you to graduate. So you have to somehow figure out how to fit it all in. So basically the overview of this section is just like, look at your website, your school website, and just figure out everything you need to take, and then section it out into like semesters that you plan on taking them. That's the bottom line. So here's a really basic example. Just split out your semesters and your years, and then just literally write in what classes you're going to take each semester, each year, so it's all in front of you. Okay, I also want to come in and say this. I came into college with 15 credits already under my belt. So I went to a high school that offered dual elective credits, and then also, what is it? Not CCAP. It's like the courses that, like, if you take the AP credit, if you take the credits, they transfer into college if you get like a 4 or higher on your exam. So I already came in with psych credits, and I came in with English credits, and then I also had, I want to say, a bunch of Spanish electives, because that was like dual enrollment. And so if you're in high school and you're watching this, I highly recommend taking advantage of those opportunities because they are going to save you so much money. Yes, they cost you money to enroll in high school, but it's significantly less than what they cost in college. Like the school that I went to was private. Bruh, they was charging, what was it? It was like $900 for one credit, some shit like that. And so if your classes are 3 credits, that's what, $2,700 per class? Got me fucked up. But you know what I'm saying? Like take classes that are cheaper when you can, and then they'll transfer and you're saving money that way as well. The second thing that I did was I took classes over the summer. And so some people are like, hell no, I'm not doing that. Like I'm gonna enjoy my summers, and I understand that. But you have to take into consideration you're saving time and money at the same time. So at my school, we could take a 6-week course that was still worth 3 credits. So normally in a normal college semester, you're taking a class that's 3 credits, but it's taking you a whole semester to get those credits. In the summer, you're still getting 3 credits, but in 6 weeks, which is cutting your time more than half. And they're often cheaper. Like the credits for my summer courses, I think were like $200 to $250 cheaper per credit. So you're also saving money that way. Also, you don't have to take the courses through your university. So you could take a course through a tech school or any other school and then just transfer the credits back onto your transcript for your university. That's like a lot of extra work, and you're gonna have to like figure out how to do that. I would call your university. They're really helpful. Like the people in the academic office are there to help you. Do not be afraid to call them. Do not be afraid to email them and bug them until you get your answers, because their job is literally to help you. So take advantage of those people, because it's gonna be really confusing if you don't ask for help on this process. Okay, a third tip is try to stick with the major that you started with when you started school. So I know this is like a really big thing for a lot of people. They either go in undecided or they go in and want to switch their major halfway because they're like, I fucking hate what I'm doing right now. So try to stay in the same lane. I switched my major before school started. So I had like went to orientation, I signed up for all my classes, and then like a month before school, I was like, I really dislike all of these courses, and switched everything before school started. So I was okay because I was still starting school on the track to my major, and I didn't change it. One thing I did do though is I was planning on getting a Spanish minor, and so I ended up taking, I want to say it was either 6 or 9 credits worth of Spanish that I didn't need. And so you do have some wiggle room if you do take classes that you don't really need, because they could count towards other requirements. Like we had a second language requirement, and we had some other like writing and other requirements that your school might require, and so they could count towards those. But I still had, I think, 9 credits of like wasted credits because it didn't go towards anything that I was actually studying. Some other general tips, I recommend joining research labs for credit. So I was in a research lab, and you could choose how many credits you wanted it to count towards based on your schedule. So it was from 1 to 4 credits, and that just based on how much time you were going to spend in that lab. And so doing this is a great way to actually get your foot in the door with like what you're interested in. So I have a psychology major, so I was doing a lab studying resiliency in preschoolers. And so I would do it for like 2 or 3 credits because I was really busy otherwise. And then I would get experience in the research field, meet graduate students and professors that are studying what I'm interested in. It looks really good on your resume, and you're also gaining like real world experience, collecting research, meeting people in the community, just meeting new people in general, and it, like I said, just looks great on resumes. Also gives you a chance to make your schedule more flexible, so if you only want to take it for 2 credits, it still counts towards your graduation requirements. And more often than not, well actually I think 100% of the time, research credits are, so my school did it by like thousands, like 3,000 level courses, 4,000. So research credits are higher level elective credits, and so what that means is that if your school requires you to have a certain amount of like higher level like credits, those will count towards those without it being a class, if that makes sense. Some other general tips is stay organized. This is like the most basic tip ever, but like have a schedule and write it down. So my routine was every single Sunday night, I had a huge whiteboard in my room, and I would write down every single day my schedule. So the date, when I had class, when I had breaks, when I was going to do work, that kind of stuff. And it just kind of forces you to like stay on task, because when you're trying to graduate early, like you're doing a lot like all the time, because you're trying to cram everything in and like finish school early. I will say that if you do take this path, you are going to have to sacrifice other things. And so, I mean, not necessarily, but if you do this, you're probably going to be like more busy than other people. Like I had people that were only taking 15 credits and I was taking 21. So like you have less time to be social. Maybe like your weekends aren't as social or full of parties that like everybody else is doing. And so you kind of have to have that strong mentality where you're not swayed by that. Like you have to be confident, like, yes, I know that I can't go to the game or I can't go to this party every single weekend, but in the long run, it's putting me ahead, saving me tens of thousands of dollars by not going to school for another year. And you have to just kind of look long picture, like long term. So you kind of have to have like a confidence in your decision with that. Okay, just to recap, because that was a lot of information. The first thing you want to do is figure out your necessary credits, necessary courses that you have to take to graduate. That's the biggest thing. And then what my academic advisor walked me through is he would have like a 4-year plan. So if you're a freshman, have a 4-year plan and be like, first semester I'm taking this, second semester I'm taking this, sophomore year taking this, and then this. Like just go all the way down all 4 years. And so you literally already know what your plan is. And so when enrollment time comes around for your courses for next semester, you already have it figured out. And then writing down everything you need. Let's say a course closes and you can't get into it. Okay, you have like 8 backup options because you have all these classes you have to take anyway. And so that makes that a lot easier as well. I know that time in the semester was usually really stressful for a lot of students because like courses would close and they were just trying to figure out what they needed like the night before that like their window was open, which is not a good idea. Like plan it way ahead of time because you don't have to worry about it then. So yeah, that helped me a lot, and it helped make that process way smoother, way easier, and way less stressful. And finally, I want to emphasize this as well, is make sure this is like something that like you really want to do and are dedicated to do, because like it gets tough. Like I said, I was taking 16, 18, 21 credits per semester, and I was also working 2 jobs. Like you might not be working jobs, but regardless, if you're taking that many credits, it's like, it's tough. It's really tough on you mentally, and like your spirits can get down, like your mental health can take a hit. So like I really want to emphasize, like make sure that you can handle it, because it is pretty tough. And also you have to think about like your priorities. Like personally, I'm not like a big party person, so in my head it didn't really bother me that I wasn't like missing parties or missing events, because I don't really prioritize that in the first place. But if you're someone who's extremely social and like really wants to be out all the time, then doing this probably isn't going to work, because the amount that you're gonna have to sacrifice to do this successfully, like it won't work if you're choosing the social aspect all of the time. So keep in mind like what you want to do with your life, like what you really prioritize right now. If college is more about taking your time and figuring yourself out, then I wouldn't recommend doing this. But if you know what you want to do, you're very driven, you have a great work ethic, and you're very organized, then this is very doable for you. Like I said, if you don't already have the 15 credits coming in, this is where summer classes are going to be necessary, because you're going to have to take a whole year's worth of courses in the summer. So that's also where sacrifice comes into play. Like if you need to work all summer, then I don't really think this will work for you. So it's kind of just like planning ahead. But it's definitely doable if you are in this position and like know that you can do it. I recommend it honestly, because it does save you a lot of time in the long run, and you're young and now you have more freedom. Like you're not having to worry about school. You already graduated and you can kind of start your life just a little bit earlier. And even if you want to graduate only a semester earlier, that's also doable with these same steps. Just really planning stuff and like looking long term. And I know the future is going to be really stressful, but at the same time, like if you plan for it, it's going to be more healthy. Like what's the quote? It's like nobody fails to plan, but you will fail if you fail to plan. Does that make sense? Like if you don't plan stuff, you're planning for failure, because planning is necessary in life. And as much as it's stressful and stuff, like, it's necessary, and you kind of have to just deal with it. So that is all for this video. Please like it, give it a thumbs up, share it with anybody who you think could use this. Like I said, this is kind of geared towards more like kids in high school who potentially could have those credits built up before they go in. But if you're in college, highly recommend taking summer courses if you're able to, and just kind of like buckling down and doing what you have to do to get there. So wanted to share that information and knowledge with you because it really helped me a lot, and it put me in a pretty good position. So I wanted to share that with all of you. I will catch y'all next time.